The story kicks off with a sense of foreboding as Lena, Jake, Mia, and Ryan, four urban explorers with varying degrees of belief in the supernatural, arrive at the decaying gates of Rosewood Asylum. The sky is overcast, casting long shadows over the ivy-choked stone walls, and a distant rumble of thunder suggests the weather is as unwelcoming as the locals who warned them to stay away. Lena, the de facto leader of the group, is the most level-headed, approaching the asylum with a skeptic's curiosity. She's here for the history, the forgotten stories buried in the asylum's walls. Jake, her best friend and the team's tech expert, is the opposite. He's eager to capture evidence of the paranormal, his EMF meter already buzzing intermittently as they step inside. Mia, the documentarian, films everything with an almost naive enthusiasm, framing shots of broken wheelchairs and rusted medical tools as if she's uncovering some grand truth. Ryan, the reckless thrill-seeker, cracks jokes to mask his unease, brushing off the strange atmosphere as just another abandoned building. The moment they cross the threshold, the air changes, thicker, colder. The floor creaks underfoot like a warning. Jake's equipment flickers, and Mia's camera catches a fleeting shadow in the corner of the frame, though no one notices yet. They split up briefly, exploring the main hall. Lena finds patient records scattered on the floor, the ink faded but still legible, disturbing accounts of experimental treatments, erratic scribbles about the ones who watch in the dark. Ryan laughs it off, calling it staged, but Jake's face is serious as he adjusts his scanner. Then, a sound, a distant whisper, just loud enough to make Mia pause. She turns, camera raised, but the hallway is empty. "Did you guys hear that?" she asks. Ryan rolls his eyes. Probably just rats. But Jake's EMF spikes suddenly, the device screeching before cutting out entirely. A heavy silence follows. Lena, ever the rational one, suggests they set up camp before nightfall. As they move deeper into the asylum, the camera lingers on a patch of graffiti near the stairwell. A single phrase, scratched into the wall like a plea. No one leaves. The scene ends with the group unaware of just how true those words are, the asylum settling around them like a living thing, waiting. Night falls over Rosewood Asylum like a suffocating blanket, the once creaking halls now swallowed by an unnatural silence. The team sets up their equipment in what was once the asylum's common room, a hollowed-out space with broken furniture, peeling wallpaper, and the lingering scent of mildew. Jake rigs motion-activated cameras in the hallways, while Mia reviews the footage they've already captured, her face lit only by the dim glow of her laptop screen. Ryan, ever the skeptic, cracks open a beer and jokes about how ghost hunting is just an excuse to scare themselves. Lena, though, is quiet, thumbing through the patient records she found earlier, her brow furrowed at the recurring mentions of the Watchers. Then, a whisper. Mia's head snaps up. "Did you guys hear that?" she asks, her voice barely above a murmur. The others pause. Silence. Ryan scoffs. "Hear what? The wind?" But Jake's EMF meter, sitting idle on the floor, suddenly crackles to life, its needle jumping erratically. Before anyone can react, the sound comes again, a hushed voice just beyond the doorway. This time, they all hear it. A woman's voice, frail and broken, muttering a single word. "Run." Ryan's bravado falters. Lena grabs a flashlight and steps into the hallway, the beam cutting through the darkness. The corridor is empty, but the air feels thick, charged, like the moment before a lightning strike. Then, a shadow shifts at the far end of the hall, just for a second. A tall, emaciated figure, its limbs too long, its posture wrong. Lena freezes. The light flickers. When she blinks, it's gone. Back in the common room, Jake checks the cameras. There's nothing on the feed, he says, but his hands are shaking. Mia rewinds the audio. The whisper is there, clear as day. Ryan, unnerved, suggests they leave, but Lena, driven by something deeper than fear, insists they stay. We came here for answers, she says. We're not running from creaky floors and bad wiring. As the others settle into uneasy silence, Jake pulls out an old patient journal he found tucked beneath a floorboard. The handwriting is frantic, the pages stained with what might be blood. The last entry reads, "They're in the walls now. They don't need bodies anymore. Dr. Voss let them out. We're all part of it. No one leaves. No one leaves. No one—" The sentence cuts off mid-word. The scene ends with the team trying to sleep, the asylum groaning around them. Mia's camera, left recording, captures a shadow detaching itself from the far wall and moving toward them. The morning light does nothing to dispel the unease clinging to the group after their disturbed night. Shadows seem to linger longer than they should, and the air carries a metallic tang, like old blood or rust. Lena, unable to shake the words from the patient's journal, becomes fixated on finding Dr. Voss's records. If anyone knew the truth about Rosewood, it was him. While Jake reviews the previous night's footage, freezing on a frame where the shadows don't quite match the light, Mia notices something odd about the floor near the asylum's old nurse station. A section of the wood is warped, the nails newer than the rest. Ryan, despite his growing paranoia, pries it open with a crowbar, revealing a hidden staircase descending into pitch-black darkness. The smell that rises is foul, antiseptic, decay, and something burnt. Jake's EMF meter shrieks as they descend, the temperature dropping with each step. The beam of Lena's flashlight cuts through the gloom, illuminating a nightmarish laboratory, rusted surgical tools, a stained operating table, and rows of glass jars containing preserved organs floating in murky fluid. On the walls, smeared handprints streak toward the door as if something or someone had tried desperately to escape. At the center of the room sits Dr. Voss's desk, his final journal lying open. The entries grow increasingly unhinged, detailing his experiments in soul transference, attempts to harvest patients' consciousnesses to achieve immortality. The last entry is a frantic scrawl. The gate is open. They're not just in the walls anymore, they're in us. The asylum is hungry. God help whoever finds this place. Mia, filming everything, suddenly gasps. A VHS tape labeled Final Trial sits in an old recorder. Against Jake's protests, Ryan pushes play. Grainy footage flickers to life. Dr. Voss, wild-eyed, performing a ritual on a strapped-down patient. The patient convulses, their mouth stretching too wide, shadows pouring out of them like smoke. Then the screen distorts, and for a split second, something stares back through the tape, a face that isn't human. The screen goes black. The room's single light bulb shatters. In the darkness, a wet, ragged breathing sounds just behind them. Ryan screams. The door slams shut. The team scrambles, pounding on the metal, but it won't budge. Jake's flashlight flickers, revealing scratches on the inside of the door. Claw marks. They're not alone down here. Panic sets in as the team realizes they're trapped in the basement. The air grows heavier, each breath tasting of rust and something sour, like fear made tangible. Jake's flashlight flickers, casting jagged shadows that twist unnaturally along the walls. The claw marks on the door seem fresher than they should be. Ryan, sweat beading on his forehead, jams the crowbar into the door's seam, prying with desperate strength. We need to get the hell out of here now, he hisses. But the metal groans and holds. Then, a sound. a slow, wet dragging from the far corner of the room where the darkness is thickest. Mia's camera light swings toward it. For a split second, the lens catches a silhouette, a hunched figure, its limbs too long, fingers scraping the floor. Then the light burns out. Lena grabs a scalpel from the surgical tray, her pulse roaring in her ears. "Stay together," she orders, but Ryan is already backing toward the staircase, muttering about finding another exit. Jake tries to stop him. "Don't split up," but Ryan shoves him aside and bolts up the steps. The moment Ryan disappears into the hallway above, the asylum reacts. A chorus of whispers erupts, dozens of voices overlapping, some pleading, some laughing. Then Ryan's scream. It's cut short, followed by a sickening crunch. The team freezes. A heavy silence follows. Too heavy. Then, footsteps, slow, deliberate. Something is coming down the stairs. Jake's EMF meter explodes in his hands, glass shards embedding in his palm. He doesn't even scream. He's too busy staring at the staircase where Ryan's shadow now stands, except it's not Ryan. The shape is wrong. The head tilts too far. Lena grabs Mia and Jake, shoving them toward the far wall. "There's another door! Move!" They barely make it through before something slams against the other side. The door bulges inward, wood splintering. Mia's camera, still rolling, captures the moment the hinges begin to tear free. Then, silence. A single guttural whisper slithers through the cracks. We're inside him now. The scene ends with the team realizing Ryan is gone, and whatever took him isn't done yet. The remaining trio, Lena, Jake, and Mia, barricade themselves in an abandoned patient room, their breath ragged as they press against the door, waiting for the thing wearing Ryan's shadow to retreat. The asylum is eerily silent now, as if holding its breath. Jake's injured hand trembles as he flips through Dr. Voss's journal with his good one, the pages sticking together in places where old blood has dried. His voice is barely above a whisper as he reads aloud. "The human soul is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. The asylum is the perfect vessel. The walls remember. The air remembers. We will live forever within them." Mia, her camera still miraculously recording despite the chaos, zooms in on a series of diagrams, arcane symbols overlapping with surgical blueprints. Dr. Voss wasn't just experimenting on patients. He was binding them to the building itself. Lena pieces it together first. "He wasn't trying to cure them," she says, her voice hollow. "He was feeding them to it." A sudden thud against the door makes them all flinch, then another and another. Not a knock, something heavier, something testing the wood. Jake frantically turns to the last entry, his voice cracking as he reads, "The gate is open. The watchers are free. They take pieces of you, your fear, your voice, your face, until there's nothing left but what they leave behind. And then you become one of them. You become part of the house." As if summoned by the words, the lights flicker violently. Shadows in the corners of the room deepen, stretch, pull away from the walls. Mia's camera picks up movement, figures forming in the darkness, their outlines shifting like static. Then, from the hallway, Ryan's voice, "Guys, let me in. It's me. I got away." But they all know. That's not Ryan anymore. Lena's hands shake as she clutches the journal. "We have to burn it," she says. "All of it. The journals, the tapes, maybe even the asylum itself." Jake looks at her like she's insane. "That won't stop them. We're already inside." The door splinters. The door shatters inward. For a heartbeat, nothing moves. Then, Ryan's silhouette steps through the wreckage, except it's not Ryan. Not anymore. His body moves wrong, joints bending where they shouldn't, his shadow stretching further than possible. His mouth opens, and the voice that comes out is a chorus, dozens of whispers layered together. You belong here now. Jake attacks first, swinging a rusted pipe at the thing wearing Ryan's face. It connects with a sickening crack, but Ryan doesn't even flinch. His head tilts too far back, grinning as black veins spiderweb across his skin. Then his hand snaps out, gripping Jake's wrist. The moment they touch, Jake seizes, his eyes rolling back, visions flooding his mind. The asylum's past, Dr. Voss's victims, the moment Ryan's soul was torn apart. Lena drags Jake back, breaking the contact. He collapses, gasping, his pupils blown wide. They're in my head, he rasps. Mia grabs a flare from their gear, igniting it with shaking hands. The sudden crimson light sends the shadow Ryan screeching back, his form writhing like smoke. But the flare won't last forever. We run! Now! Lena barks. They bolt into the hallway, only to find the asylum has shifted. The corridors they mapped earlier are gone, replaced by a labyrinth of rotting walls and doors that open into bricked-off dead ends. Behind them, footsteps echo. Multiple now. Ryan isn't the only one hunting them. Jake stumbles, clutching his head. They're calling me, he mutters. His fingers dig into his temples hard enough to draw blood. They're so loud. Lena slaps him. Fight it! A door bursts open ahead. Dr. Voss's shadow steps out. Not a ghost, but something worse. A living memory. His mouth sewn shut with rusted wire, his eyes hollow pits. He reaches for Mia. She kicks him back, but the camera around her neck shatters violently, glass shards cutting her face. The lens reflects something behind her. Ryan's hands clamp around her throat. Lena dives for them, but Jake grabs her. His grip is ice cold. When she turns, his eyes are fully black. You should have left when you had the chance. Mia's choking gasps cut off abruptly as Ryan drags her into the darkness. Lena screams, wrenching free, but Jake's body collapses, empty. His soul is gone, consumed. Alone, Lena sprints for the asylum's entrance, but the front doors are chained shut. The walls pulse around her, breathing. Behind her, shadows converge. The asylum doors slam shut behind Lena with a finality that echoes through her bones. She stumbles into the overgrown asylum grounds, the first gray light of dawn creeping over the horizon. Her breath comes in ragged gasps, her clothes torn, her skin smeared with dirt and blood that isn't entirely her own. She doesn't stop running until she reaches the road, where a passing motorist finally spots her, wild-eyed, trembling, and takes her to the nearest hospital. Cut to a sterile hospital room. Doctors speak in hushed tones, police take notes, their expressions skeptical. Lena's story, vanishing friends, a sentient asylum, shadows that wear human skin, doesn't match the facts they know. There is no Rosewood Asylum, not on any map, not in any records, just an empty field where it might have stood, decades ago. A nurse hands her a glass of water. For a brief moment, Lena's reflection in the window doesn't move when she does. Then it's gone. She's discharged with a prescription for sleep aids and a referral to a psychiatrist. Cut to Lena's apartment, weeks later. She sits in the dark, surrounded by newspaper clippings, her laptop open to a forum for missing persons. Mia, Jake, Ryan. No records of them exist either. Their social media profiles are gone. Their families don't remember them. She pours a drink. The liquid trembles in the glass. Then, a whisper. You didn't really think you escaped, did you? Her head snaps up. The shadows in the corner of the room are too deep, too still. Her breath fogs in the suddenly freezing air. Cut to Rosewood Asylum, present day. The front doors hang open, inviting. Inside, the walls hum with new energy. Fresh graffiti mars the rotting wood. Lena was here. The camera pans across the asylum's interior. Patient rooms now hold familiar shapes. Mia's camera sits on a rusted bed, still recording. Jake's EMF meter lies shattered in a corner. Ryan's jacket hangs from a hook, still dripping something dark. And in the basement, Dr. Voss's journal lies open to a new page, the handwriting unmistakably Lena's. No one leaves. We all become part of it. I understand now. The asylum doors slowly close on their own as another storm rolls in. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.